Screw your freedom.
That's what they say in Washington, D.C. Screw your freedoms. I'm not in a great mood today, folks. Not because of anything you did wrong. You guys have done everything correct. You've written, you've called, you've shared, you've told people. Wake up, get prepared, learn what's happening. And we keep getting fucked in D.C., folks. I mean, for example, remember when we were told, oh, yeah, Cash Patel, and then we're like, oh, yeah, Dan Bongino's coming, look out. Well, it's been 21 days since Dan Bongino's taken the deputy director of the FBI. And let's see, since then, Michael Byrd, who murdered Ashley Babbitt, still free. 0 Epstein clients have been arrested. The pipe bomber from J6 still hasn't been identified nor arrested. And a domestic terrorist, according to Larry Bronk Jr., now leads the FBI Washington, D.C. field office. So the FBI is really on our side. Oh, well, don't worry. We got the courts, right? Yeah, Trump had to go to the Supreme Court today to block an Obama judge's order to to return a deported MS-13 gang member to the USA. He had to ask the court to intervene. So it was put all the way to the Supreme Court. And Chief Justice John Roberts, it was a big question mark. Is he going to finally do something right, or is he going to obey his communist masters and deny Trump again? Right? As far as I'm concerned, I'm no longer prepping for SHTF. 3 years from now, I'm going to start prepping now, because in 3 years, we're going to be fighting a civil war. Unless something really big fucking happens, we are going to be in a civil war. Now, with respect to the alleged, right, MS-13 gangsta, he will not be sent back from El Salvador to the United States of America. Finally, Chief Justice John Roberts put an end to the BS. Well, at least in this one case, right? And these lower courts literally commanded Trump to do what they said. Folks, the war is very, very close. But I don't think the Civil War starts tomorrow or next month or at the end of Trump's term. Well, no, it will start by the end of Trump's term if we don't get these problems fixed. I am not inciting violence. I'm not committing insurrection. If you want violence and insurrection, go to Washington, D.C. Literally, go to Washington, D.C., because that's where the violence is being promoted and pushed and allowed. I'm glad John Roberts did something good, but still, he's part of the problem. He could have fixed all of this problem a long time ago, but he hasn't, folks. He hasn't. It is Monday. It's Monday. Are you prepared? Food, water, shelter, clothing, medicine, means of self-defense. Get your questions into the comment section because, well, you and I and Uman are going to talk about what you want to talk about after I do my monologue, which is cover a number of things that are going on right now. We are in the war, the fight for our lives. And Dan Bongino isn't doing shit, but he's telling us, don't worry, we're doing some paperwork behind the scenes. And that's important, right? And Cash Patel, day one, I'm going to close down the FBI. I'm going to turn it into a museum. It was bullshit. And now they have, and it's been confirmed, they have promoted the FBI field agent, the man in charge of getting the January 6ers, rounding them up as if they're criminals and persecuting them and calling all of them terrorists, while the fucking BLM and Antifa were out there literally burning cities, murdering people, looting stores, attacking police, committing arson against courthouses, police stations, homes, businesses. But these old geriatric Americans waving flags at the Capitol are terrorists. Meanwhile, what is terrorism again, by the way? Terrorism is using force or the threat of force, using violence and the threat of violence, causing death and the threat of death in order to make people change their political behavior and thoughts and words. So guess what? Some screwball, sociopathic, left-wing Democrat in Michigan was allegedly angered because the school policy was get rid of the gay pride flag. And so he threatened the life of trustees of the board with a Luigi Mangione reference. These violent communists have begun making threats, followed by full-on violent terrorism, folks. We're dealing with it. Expect it. Be prepared. Washington, D.C. is not going to save us. Washington, D.C. is not going to make it difficult. In fact, Washington, D.C. and the states are allowing our country to be overrun still with lawlessness. Down in Dallas, Texas, a police lieutenant who happens to be retired basically said the Islamic mega city near Dallas, Texas, has been being built with 0 building permits, no taxes paid, no oversight to ensure public safety. And they are discriminating against non-Muslims in this area of their development. Why have they not been arrested? Why have they not torn the road up, put up signs, red tagged the whole business? Well, because, they're Muslims and we have to let them get away with whatever they want because, that's the way this goes. Now, back to more domestic terrorism. Everyone should know about Austin Metcalf. He was stabbed in the heart and died at a track meet. The fellow who killed him, his name was Carmelo. Sounds like a fucking candy bar. Carmelo. The story continues to get better and better as more information is released. Carmelo didn't want to go to school, so Carmelo was hiding out at the track meet. Carmelo had been kicked out of school for having a knife before, got in trouble for it. I don't know if he was kicked out of school for a day, a week, a month, or what, but he'd been turned in for making threats of violence as well. So he shows up at the school track meet and goes into people's shade tents, these pop-up tents. And he was going through people's stuff. He was looting their stuff. Because when you're not running, you're in the tent. And when you're not in the tent, you're out running, so you can't protect your shit. So Austin Metcalf shows up at his tent, sees Carmelo, tells him to get out of the chair, get out of his tent, and Carmelo stands up and stabs him in the fucking heart. So the idiot socialist leftist community says Carmelo's the victim. Give, Send, Go says, oh, you're the victim. Well, you can use our website to raise money. And they wanted to raise 50,000, then they wanted to raise 100,000, now 100,000, 150. They've raised 160,000. So they're just going to keep upping the number they're shooting for, claiming it was self-defense. So a track athlete telling you to get out of his chair and get out of his tent requires the use of a knife and deadly force. And that was self-defense. Now, they denied Give, Send, Go Kyle Rittenhouse access to raise money for his defense. And if you recall, he was being chased beaten with a skateboard, was laying on the ground while a man pulled a fucking gun out to shoot him. And he shot 3 people that were trying to kill him, literally threatening to kill him, telling him they were going to kill him. And they didn't want to say that was self-defense. But stabbing someone in the fucking heart is just fine. That's what these leftists are doing, folks. Leftists and racists are turning a murderer into a victim. Just like St. George Floyd, a hardcore felon, drug user, who was high as a fucking kite on fentanyl, which is what killed him, by the way, passing counterfeit notes, another federal felony, dies while being arrested. Dies while resisting arrest. And we need to have murder of the whole nation for that. Right? This guy, this Carmelo fuckstick, this is just in time for the next summer of race-powered political violence. Now, to be fair, not all blacks are supporting this Carmelo creep. There's one guy on X, I can't remember his name because I just started following him, is just going off. A lot of folks, this has nothing to do with race. This has to do with political horse shit. Don't buy into the race crap. It's political. It's absolutely political. Using race as the bait to get people pissed off. Don't buy the race baiting. Understand this is all political. It's completely, absolutely political. And Trump, look, I fucking had it with Dan Bongino. I've had it with Kash Patel. I've had it with Pam Bondi. I'm fucking done with them. They're worthless. If they start arresting the big shots and the big fish, I'll come around. Until then, fuck them. I'm done with them. They suck. Trump, however, is doing a fantastic job. He just got Israel to dump every single tariff they're doing. 50 countries, if not more, are begging Trump to talk to them so they can negotiate and come off of their tariffs. It's not a trade war. It is now a tariff negotiating tool because they have actually been the ones fucking us. So Trump's approval, folks, despite the media blaming his tariffs for all the problems, Trump's approval is continuing to skyrocket to near record highs for Mr. Trump. Judges, bureaucrats and politicians and the media, they are all liars, folks. And they're committing insurrection in an incremental fashion. The American people, we all see it. We're all siding with Trump. Partisan war is coming fast and hard. This commie shit has to stop. Right? It has to stop. Or the streets are going to flow with blood. Pam Bondi could stop that. Kash Patel could stop that. Dan Bongino could stop that. Instead, they're swearing in more fucking losers and they're promoting anti-American patriot stalkers and patriot killers. All they have to do is start arresting the bad guys. Oh, we got to have the paperwork. No, you don't. The same clown that just got promoted to deputy director in the FBI was arresting January 6th protesters, called them terrorists, put them in jail, denied them their 4th Amendment, 5th Amendment, 6th, 7th Amendments. They fucking tortured them. In jail, they tortured them physically, psychologically, denied them food, exposed them to feces and fucking disease, denied them medical, denied them legal representation, denied bond, habeas corpus, didn't even fucking arraign them or charge many of them with anything. They just held them in jail indefinitely. And we're supposed to be worried about these fucking illegals? We're supposed to be worried about anything else? This is what Washington, D.C. does. It is a fucking shithole. And Trump needs to fire these motherfuckers. They're all talk and do nothing. No, we arrested an MS-13 member. No, it was a local police could have done that. Fuck, I could have done that. Anyone could have done that. I've had it. I'm done with these fucking people. Right? Yet another Jihad Joe, another radical jihadist, has been found guilty, folks. Why? Because he did a bomb scare. Planted fucking bombs in churches. This was his plot, was to target Christian churches all over the country. Folks, extremism in defense of liberty is no vice. Especially if allowing the problem guarantees further destruction and death and the downfall of our republic. This is how a nation, folks, becomes extremist. I want everyone to listen to this. I am not promoting. I am not admiring. I'm not calling for anything good about Hitler. But what had happened to the German people in the 1920s is they were absolutely decimated by European nations blaming them, financially harming them. And then the German culture was attacked from within by what? Homosexuality, transgenderism, and I'm not fucking lying. They were being destroyed by countries from the outside with their political demands. So Germany, in self-defense, had to get rid of all of that shit. And they looked to Hitler to do that. And they liberated themselves from transgenderism, homosexuality, cultural disintegration, and external destruction. Yeah, Germany became a very extreme nation because, folks, they were being attacked at every side. Now, when judges and jihadists and Democrats violate the law and the Attorney General and the FBI do nothing at all but run to the television to get their hair groomed so they can look cute, that is why America is becoming more extreme. Because Washington, D.C. is becoming more extreme going to the left. And America wants freedom, liberty, and our Constitution. So we're demanding that. And fucking Pam Bondi wants to run to the television. Do my makeup and hair. I want to look cute for TV. And Kash Patel is doing nothing but going to fucking hockey games, baseball games, meeting with celebrities. Who gives a fuck? That's what you do, folks. That's what you do on your victory lap after you have destroyed the criminals and illegal actions of your enemies. Then you do a victory lap. You don't run to TV. That's not how you win. You don't hang out with celebrities and act all cool and talk cool. That's not winning. That's what you do on a victory lap after you have destroyed the fucking enemy. That's where we're at in this war, folks. They're pretending like they won and they haven't won shit. The only one who's fucking winning is Trump. Trump is the one winning. Not everything, right? He's issued an ultimatum to China. And he demanded, Trump did, that they withdraw their 34% tariff or face a 50% tariff from the United States. And China was given until tomorrow. I'm expecting serious escalation. China is big. China is powerful. China is also hurting financially, economically. There's problems with China. But they've got Sun Tzu philosophy. They are good at negotiating. They may put it out. They may fight longer. Who knows? But I see escalation incoming from the enemies of our country, China being one of them. Yes, I see China as an enemy. I also see Israel as an enemy of the United States of America because they have so much political influence over Republicans and Democrats and the bureaucrats in Washington, D.C. The same people who won't go out and arrest the evil Democrats and rhino Republicans. Cash, Pam, Bongino, all of them are doing nothing. Trump is fighting in the arena that he's in, right? But my question is, hey, well, China, why did China get to screw us over? Right? Trump is negotiating and fighting them, and he's winning with everyone else. He hasn't beaten China yet, and he may not. China has now, folks, said, oh, you want to play ball? Okay, no more rare earth metals for you guys. China controls 95% of the world's rare earth metals that are needed for electronics, electric motors, computers, etc. Does the United States only consume 5% of the world's rare earth metals? The answer is no. So if the United States of America was able to take control of the 5%, it wouldn't help us. China has us by the balls because of that. Now today, Energy Fuels and Chemours, they're two companies in the United States that are developing rare earth mines in Australia, Brazil, Madagascar, and other places. But we're in big fucking trouble. I mean, politically, yeah, of course. Socially, yes. Legally, yes. But we also have a serious problem with countries like China wanting to keep and put the hurt on us. Right? Negotiations aren't easy, and hopefully Trump can get through this. But we need strategic metals. We need a lot, folks. So when I say Trump is busy, yeah, he's kind of busy with stuff. But I don't think he's so busy he couldn't take 5 minutes, look at Pam Bondi's track record and go, you've been in office for a couple of months, you haven't made one fucking arrest? I read someone go, well, give them till August. They need till August to put together the paperwork. How would you fucking know that unless you were in the office doing the paperwork? You're just throwing fucking dates out there. Let's wait till August. I know. Let's wait till 2050. Yeah, that'll really scare them. We're coming after you guys in 25 years. We're in trouble, folks. Are you prepared? Do you have food, water? I'm just that fucking sick of these people, folks. I'm disgusted with this shit. I know what Trump says he wants to do, right? The rest of the world is falling apart, and the Democrats are pushing us to get there, right? Washington, D.C. is burning. It's absolutely fucking burning, right? With the courts and the appeals courts trying to take over the Trump presidential powers, right? The courts have reinstated, a different court case now has reinstated that the fired people, the fired employees, the members of the National Labor Relations Board and the Merit Systems Protection Board, they've been reinstated by a court. A court is now doing Trump's job. They've taken over Trump's presidential powers. See what I'm saying? We're at war with these people. They said they're at war with us. They meant it. They're at fucking war with us.
There are public figures today, yesterday, and the day before predicting and all but calling for mass violence and rioting in the streets.
Obviously, Republicans, I think, are the biggest threat to democracy. We don't separate right-wing extremists and Republican Party anymore. Republicans, I think, are the biggest threat to democracy. We don't separate right-wing extremists and Republican Party anymore. Republicans are the biggest threat to democracy.
This means war. That is where we are. We are at war with these people.
Yes, they are, folks. Washington is burning right now. We're in a judicial war, and it's in the open. And it's not just in D.C. Did you know that in Texas today, it's being reported today, that in Texas, a communist stinking judge has awarded $6.6 million to former employees of the Attorney General, Ken Paxton. Why did they get awarded $6.6 million? Well, because he fired their dumbasses. Why did they fire him? Because they reported him to the FBI, accusing him of crimes and having absolutely no evidence. Tried getting him fired, tried getting him arrested. And 4 years later, this happened. He fired him back in 2020. And 4 years later, they still have zero evidence. He still hasn't committed a crime or done anything wrong. But the state is telling, right, the judges are telling the state to pay these four losers $6.6 million, right? Travis County, communist judge. Well, Friday, the judgment happened. It's being reported today. Unfucking believable. Not a single shred or piece of evidence. It was an attempted takedown. Remember when they also tried impeaching Ken Paxton? He is a pro-America, pro-Texas, pro-freedom attorney general. And that's what they're doing. We are at war with these people. Absolutely. Get your questions into the comment section. I want to know what you're thinking about today. Now, more FBI corruption. I've had it with, I'm telling you folks, people want me to be patient. I'm tired of being patient. I had to put up with 4 fucking years of Biden's administration. The COVID crap. The demand to get the VAX. Right? All of the accusations as a parent, as a Republican, as a man, as a Christian, as someone who's white. I'm a fucking terrorist the whole way, according to them. I'm less than human, according to them. I'm a criminal, according to them. Oh, being a veteran doesn't help either. Right? And where's the FBI? The fucking Attorney General Merrick Garland went after parents, accused them of being terrorists. So there's this clown named Michael Seidel. He's with the FBI. He is being reported as the face of FBI corruption. He denies FOIA requests, Freedom of Information Act. He lies about evidence, lies to the people, lies to the courts, lies to everybody. The FBI is a stinking, smoldering, burning trash heap. It's coated in shit, and it's gasoline, and it's burning, folks. Cash and Bongino promoted that asshole who called January 6ers terrorists and hunted them down, lied about them, cheated, absolute scum. And this is the new FBI with this guy being promoted, and this asshat Seidel keeping his job. The game is fucking lost. Someone prove me wrong. Fuck Washington, D.C., folks. The judges are calling Trump and what they're doing lawlessness, while they allowed cities to burn. What, 4.6 or 4.8 billion dollars in damage, murder, looting, arson. And these judges want to command Trump, say it's lawlessness that's going on as we try and get these fuckers out of the country. And yeah, Pam Bondi does nothing. Abso-fucking-lutely nothing. Except run to Fox and swear in more people that are doing absolutely nothing for us. All they would have to do is arrest one motherfucker. One that they have all the evidence on already. You lock his ass in the fucking prison and show us they've been locked. Tell us what he's charged with or she is charged with and hold him in jail. Don't allow them to have any legal representation. The same way they did to the January 6ers. And you hold that person there as evidence that you're going to prosecute all of these Epstein files, every last fucking dirty bureaucrat that's on the fucking take. Arrest Hillary. She said she'll roll over on all of Washington. Half of Washington will need to be arrested with her once she reveals who's done what. Good, do it. The city's going to burn, D.C. The country's going to burn. We're going to have fucking a civil war if this doesn't change. Because every state is going to say, you know what? Fuck you, D.C. Now remember, the so-called civil war in the United States, or between factions of the United States, it wasn't about the South trying to take over Washington, D.C. It was about the South wanting to separate from Washington, D.C. I am ready to separate from Washington, D.C. And they would probably send whoever they could down here to the South to try and take it back and kill us. Well, I don't have a whole lot of love for them. And I don't feel like surrendering or giving up my life or my money or my property or my rights. Right. Europe is absolutely fucking lost at this point. Europe is toast. They're arresting politicians even. Thank you, Uman. They're arresting politicians even for memes. They did a meme with the interior minister holding a sign that says, I hate freedom of speech. It was a meme. Right? So, the editor-in-chief of the Deutschland Courier, it's kind of like our version of courier for a newspaper. Deutschland means Germany. The German Courier. He was the editor-in-chief. 7 months of prison for posting a fucking meme. Meanwhile, jihadis are running around raping everyone. Literally. Europe is fucking lost. It's time for the United States of America to leave Europe, to leave NATO, to leave the United Nations. Why should we pay to protect these fucking Nazi communist-style imprisonment and rape lovers? Done with them. I'm just fucking done, folks. Why is the Federal Reserve still in business? Why is the IRS still there? Why are we still paying income taxes? Why are we paying property taxes? Just so we could be run over by our own government and told, fuck you? Now, all the things I've shared with you this first half hour of the show are the sentiments that I've read all day long and all night long. These are the sentiments of others that I've shared with you and the stories that they're using as reference to help people understand why America is so pissed off. They're saying that this country's burning. There's going to be a civil war. I call it partisan conflict. Others are saying it's going to be civil war. The judges are out of control. They're screwing everyone over. They're demanding criminals be returned. No one's being arrested. The sentiments I have shared are those of other people. And I share many of them as well. I just repeated them here. Should I be arrested? Should I be called a terrorist? Will I be called a terrorist for posting memes? For expressing an opinion? For having a First Amendment? Think about it. Let's go to your questions and comments. I want to hear what you guys are thinking about. My thing is I'm supposed to be provocative. I'm supposed to anger, upset, and rile people up. Not to commit crimes, not to break the law, not to cause harm and damage, but to get people thinking. So I take a lot of positions and make a lot of arguments to get people to wake up and start thinking for themselves, examining the evidence. And that's why I love you guys. You are here for just that reason. I'm not promoting violence. I'm just saying it's coming. I'm not promoting and saying shit is the fan is a good thing. I'm saying it's coming. So have food, water, shelter, clothing, medicine, means of self-defense. It's easy to get riled up, folks. The solutions, I think, are very easy, but we're not getting them. Ooh, man, let's do it. Let's get into some questions and comments, and it's Diving Frog. And he says, if Trump doesn't do something with these people in the next 30 days, then you know it's all over for any real hope of getting this country back. So you're giving Trump another 30 days to either see arrests happen or get rid of Pam Bondi and Kash Patel. There needs to be a national, some big shot somewhere, cat turd on X, Eagleman on X. Who is the big mouth? Alex Jones. They need to set a deadline. It is April 7th. So end of April? How about the end of May? They say at the end of May. And we make this a national campaign. Trump and the Attorney General and the FBI have till the end of May to make massive arrests of politicians, bureaucrats, financiers, royalty, CEOs, the P. Diddy types, the Epstein files. They have until the end of May. And there better be massive arrests or we're walking. We're pulling all of our support. And we're going to start calling for separation, a divorce. Right. Time to form a confederacy and leave the United States of America because Washington, D.C. is an awful spouse to us. It's abusive. It lies. It gaslights us. I mean, is that fair? Diving Frog, I know you said 30 days. I was saying, okay, well, end of April or middle of May. Someone needs to come up with a date and tell Trump that's it. Enough fucking games. I can't do it. I'm not big enough. I'd like to see it happen, though. Wouldn't you? Wouldn't you? I mean, we supported Trump. And I think Trump is doing what Trump is doing. But Pam Bondi isn't doing a fucking thing. Kash Patel isn't doing a thing. Why do I say that? Because I see no evidence of them doing anything. All we're getting is lip service. That's it. It doesn't impress me. I have spent the last, 40 years, literally 40 fucking years, listening to politicians run their fucking soup coolers, talk out of their cock holsters, just shoot their fucking lips off and not do anything for you and I. I heard someone trying to say, well, the rich are finally getting hurt. The billionaires are finally getting hurt in the stock market tumble. No, they're not. No, they have sold their stock. The reason the stock values dropped is because the rich guys sold their shit out. They left every American out here with a 401k or some kind of retirement program holding the fucking bag because you can't sell yours. You have to fucking stay in it. You're in fucking leg irons in a sea of shit in the stock market, and you can't do a fucking thing about it. But Warren Buffett pulled $330 billion out of the stock market. That's right. Jamie Dimon of JP Morgan Bank sold a shit pile of his stock. And then, interesting, after all of these billionaires and hedge funds and smart people protected themselves, then they let it crash and pull their money out. Bam! They kept their money. The people who are being hurt are middle-class Americans. And their little pensions and their little 401ks and their little portfolios just got fucked. Once again. The system's not there to help us, folks. Right? Trump was supposed to fix all this, and it's not fixed. We were promised what? Oh, we're going to get a tax cut. We're going to get a fucking refund on all the money Doge found as fraud. I don't think Trump realized that Elon Musk was going to be so effective at finding all of the fraud, waste, abuse, theft, embezzlement, money laundering, etc. And not one fucking arrest of a politician or a bureaucrat who sent money away And not one politician or bureaucrat or businessman was arrested for accepting that money after it was laundered. None of these non-government organizations that were getting USAID money, not one. All right, man, let's continue if we shall. We've got bump, bump. Who's next? And it's Uman. He says, Bongino and Patel are pulling the trust the plan crap with stuff like that. Just because you don't see it happening doesn't mean it isn't. Just because you say it's happening doesn't mean it isn't. Just because you're telling us you're doing something doesn't mean that you are. Have you noticed how all of the big social media loudmouths on X and YouTube that were part of the Pam Bondi thing? Here's your golden Epstein list binder. And they all fucking posed and did some bullshit dance. It was all fucking coffee-filled smoke fucking bullshit. The files, I'm going to release the files day one. The files are on my desk right now. Oh my God, the FBI lied about the files. Now I have the files. Oh, I have to protect the innocent first. Oh, the files are coming out next week. Now we've got to do all kinds of paperwork. Just because you don't see anything happening doesn't mean it isn't happening. And trust the plan. I hear you, man. I've fucking had it with this shit. Right? If someone keeps telling you that funny feeling on your back is rain, and you turn around and you see him pissing on you, don't piss down my back and tell me it's fucking raining. They're pissing all over us. And they're like, oh, trust the plan. No, I fucking had it with them. Right? I remember when jackass Biden wanted all of us to take the Jim Jones juice. They demanded it. They threatened it. Your kids can't go to school. You're going to lose your job. You should be killed and sent to a fucking concentration camp. Remember the Democrats? Even Biden was like, I'm losing my patience. Because we wouldn't obey them and take an experimental fucking drug. By the way, that hospital that has nurses with fucking brain tumors and cancers, it's 17 now, 17 of them. And they all took the same batch of Jim Jones juice. And now their fucking brains are melting down. They all work in, I think, the neonatal ward. They're losing their patience. You haven't killed yourself fast enough. I don't trust the fucking plan. I want to see arrests. I think we're getting fucking played, and I don't like it. I don't fucking like it a bit. The only good thing I've seen happen, and that I've actually seen the evidence of, is the last week I haven't seen any fucking chemtrails over Florida. I don't see any chemtrails. No streaks. I've only seen blue sky and fluffy fucking clouds. Governor DeSantis appears to be the only one doing something that I can fucking see. All right. Ooh, man. We got Robin G. And she says, interesting that my sister in Arizona just told me they are voting if they are going to continue with weather manipulation. Because too many people are complaining of getting lung issues. Why is this even a fucking debate? Right, Robin? Why is it a debate? Where's the long-term health studies and impact studies and environmental studies, animal studies, water studies, land studies, farming studies of what these chemicals are that they're dropping and spraying everywhere? Where's the fucking studies to determine it's safe, it's environmentally safe, the results of the test showing it's doing what they purport it to be doing? Why do we need our fucking weather manipulated in the first fucking place? Oh, that's right, climate change. Because it's getting hotter? No, it's getting colder. Oh, it's getting colder? No, it's getting hotter. It's extreme weather. So let's make it more extreme and fuck us all up. Yeah, lung issues. In Florida, I keep hearing complaints about people who are tired, excessively tired, suffering from fatigue. I am on a serious detox program right now to try and get whatever shit they were spraying out of me, because I don't trust them to not do it anymore or not do it again. That's crazy, Robin, that they're voting on whether to continue something they know nothing about, they don't understand, and they have no testing from. Well, I know. Wait. Trust the plan. Follow the science. Trust the science. What science? What's the agenda with this stuff? They won't fucking tell us. Up until last week, it was a conspiracy theory. That's government, folks. That's people just like you and me that are swindlers and liars and fucking carpetbaggers, shitheels that have lied their way into government power so they can get a little bit of money, a couple of $1 million, and they're willing to fuck everyone else over just to get a little bit of money. They remind me of every other fucking crook in this country. They'll spend weeks and months and years developing a way to screw everyone and steal from them, rather than go out and spend some time working hard and making their own money by being productive and creative. This is where we're at. Thank you, Robin G, very much. And I hope they say no and knock that shit off. But I doubt it. I doubt it, because someone's going to get paid. What a great way for the government of Arizona to turn around to the weather mod people and go, how much money you got, huh? Look at this over here. These people don't like it. You give me some money, I'll make some fucking excuses. It's a fucking shakedown. That's all this is in Arizona. It's a shakedown. Washington, D.C., it's a shakedown. I wouldn't doubt for a fucking second that they pulled Kash Patel off to the side and said, look, dude, we'll make it worth your while. We'll give you $20 million. Fuck it. No, we'll give you $50 million. Don't arrest anybody. Your name will be smeared. Who gives a shit? In 5 years, half the country will be fucking dead anyways. But you'll be a rich man. And you'll be part of the club. Same with Pam Bondi. Same with Bongino. Mr. fucking tough guy, Bongino. How fucking tough are you now, Dan? How cool are you, Cash? How bitchin' smart are you, Bondi? You're fucking sellouts. Because I don't see any other evidence. The evidence I do see is that every single politician, law enforcement, judge, lawyer, bureaucrat, every last one of those fucking people are sellouts. They've gotten rich. We've seen the fucking numbers. They make 150, 175, 200,000 a year, yet they've got 30, 40, 50 million dollars, 60, 70, 80 million dollars in net worth. That's the evidence that when you sell out the country by not doing your job, right? The two are counter-supportive. You don't do anything, you're a super millionaire. You're a super millionaire, and that's why you didn't do anything. Cash, Pam, Dan, not doing anything? Are you guys going to be millionaires so we can see exactly why you didn't do anything? Yeah, that's not an accusation. It's a fucking question. Does that suffice? We've seen enough politicians sell out, and now they're rich. So if you get rich, you're a fucking sellout. You're not doing anything? Selling out? It's a fair question, because they haven't done a fucking thing they said they would do. Shit has hit the fan, folks. Are you prepared for what's coming next? Let's do it, man. Redneck Roughneck says, now Rand Paul thinks Trump should have congressional approval for new tariffs. Of course Rand Paul says that. I'm not very happy with Rand Paul either. I like these tariffs. You want to know why? Because the rest of the world has been fucking you over. Redneck Roughneck and Uman and Jolene and Chin and Dr. John and everyone else. They've been tariffing all of us. And Trump is going to them going, you know what? We're going to just tariff you half of what you're fucking us over. See how you like it. And they're like, no. Right? And Rand Paul's like, tariffs are bad. I understand tariffs are taxes. but they're also a protective device or instrument, if you will, to use against other countries that are harming us. And now they all want to renegotiate with Trump. He is doing his job with respect to the tariffs. Rand Paul wants congressional approval. Oh, you mean Congress wants to be the one that runs the country? All they have done is sold us the fuck out. Every time, sell us out. Omnibus spending bill, Rand Paul. Omnibus, omnibus, omnibus. Pork, pork, pork. Earmark, earmark, earmark. Fuck us over, and now you want to be a hero and claim Trump is doing bad when he's actually doing that? Yeah, it's a weird fucking dichotomy, folks. That on the one hand, I'm supporting Trump because of what he's doing with tariffs. On the other hand, I'm pissed off he hasn't fired Pam Bondi or Cash yet. And he should. I really think they would do their fucking jobs if he said, look, I'll fire you next week. And he should do that if he's serious. So I'm criticizing him because, folks, on a day-to-day basis, on a week-to-week, people live week to week on their fucking paychecks. The poor and the middle class. People are more in debt now than ever on credit cards, personal loans, mortgages. This fucking far away. And then those that are lucky enough, supposedly lucky enough, to have a 401k that they put their own personal money in. Retirement savings. It's being squeezed out of them. And they're like, well, just wait 5 years and it'll be back. We have to wait 5 years while these fucking people enrich themselves. I don't know. Maybe I sound a little crazy today. Because I'm taking arguments I found that make perfect fucking sense and sharing them with you guys. Thank you, Redneck Roughneck. Good to have you back, buddy. Ooh, man, who's up next as we power on through this, Monday of Mayhem? And it's the Charlanator. And she says, what do you think of the nationwide PTT hand radios? I've been seeing ads for them recently on Facebook. I like any way that you can communicate that increases your ability to communicate near and far, and that's what I think. I don't know much else about the ones that are being all advertised now. Ham radios are popular, CBs are radio, shortwave, everything is popular. Get something that works. I haven't checked them out. I just haven't. I haven't had time. Folks, like you guys, I work my ass off, and then I come here and I work some more. And then I spend all night working and thinking about this shit. Do everything you can to communicate. If shit goes down, literally goes down, the power goes down, communications are stopped, the internet goes down, they can shut off our phones because it relies on their network that is powered with electricity and requires them to give us access to the nearest tower. They can shut down a state, a part of a state. They can shut down a city. They can shut down a region of the country. Your ability to communicate, to hear what's going on, and to tell others what is going on. The more you can do to guarantee or assure yourself that communication will exist and you'll understand. Like right there. I've got a world band radio. Listens to shortwave, AM, FM, world, everything. Right? I've got handhelds. I've got walkie-talkies. I've got ham radios. Everything I can to make sure I'm communicating. It's really important. All right, Mr. Uman, let's continue. Communication is a big part of these things you need to be prepared, right? Food, water, shelter. Shelter includes communication. All right. Who's Your Life? Hey, Who's Your Life is back. He says, my hometown, Lafayette, Indiana. There's a protest over the weekend. Blocking street, guy jumps out of truck, got headbutted, got gun out of truck. People scattered. He got arrested, then let go because self-defense. Looking for the other individual to arrest for assault. Yeah, see, the criminals commit crimes because that's what criminals do. They block the roads. They start beating on people's private property. And then they threaten people's lives and assault them. 1 second. And then the person who pulls a gun out to defend yourself or protect yourself, the police show up and want to arrest you for protecting yourself. That's just fucking typical, period. Well, we need to arrest somebody. Go arrest the fucking criminals. They're called protesters. You know, the hands-off protesters want to put their hands on you. Now, there's a couple of states that say if your property is being destroyed, you can use deadly force to protect it. I do agree with that. Because if they're going to use force to destroy your property, they're demonstrating they're a violent threat and they could change their mind and come after you in a second. You want to throw rocks through a window? You could be hitting somebody, a baby, someone who can't move and defend themselves, someone who can't help themselves, right? The property of a man is supposed to be an extension of who they are. You may not steal from them. You may not destroy their property or burn it because it is the same as harming, burning, and destroying that person. Florida is really good about a lot of things, but I think the entire nation needs to understand that these fucking scumbags need to be destroyed. Period. That's the only way to stop violence, is to give it what it understands. The left wants violence. That's what it understands. The government wants to lie, cheat, steal, fuck us over. Then what does the government understand? Being lied to, cheated, fucked over, and stolen from. We need to take all of our shit back from the government. All the power and all the authority. It would call it lying, cheating, and stealing. We call it taking back our authority and our property from the state of the forum, whether it is a local state or whether it's the national state of the forum, the government. Thank you, Hoosier, for sharing that. In Florida, if you stop a car, get in the way, you can be run over. You want to know why? Because you have now become a threat, and that threat can become deadly. The threat can become deadly, right? Great bodily harm and injury or death are the two things and reasons you need in this state to defend yourself with deadly force. In the automobile, if you're trapped in there because someone's blocking you in, next thing you know, they break through the window and start beating the shit out of you. Or it gives someone with a gun time to run over to you. You feel threatened in your car, you can run people over to get away. I agree 100% with that. Stay out of the fucking roads. It's gonna get nasty, folks. I think it's finally fucking coming. I'm pissed off enough that I'm pretty sure I'm right. Last year, I wasn't pissed off, but I was expecting violence that would have pissed me off. But now it's happening. Now it's happening. Fortunately, in my part of the state, the only people I've seen out there are moronic left-wingers and about half a dozen to a dozen of them standing on a curb, yelling at people, waving signs, basically being retarded leftist protesters. They're not committing acts of violence. Not yet. All right, man, we've got just a few minutes left. In fact, 2 minutes left. 1 minute, and it's Mikey G. He says, Confucius centers are on most every university campus. Those are Chinese Communist CCP, Chinese Communist Party property. It is a ready-made sleeper cell network. It's been going on for well over a decade, man. The Confucius centers were exposed years ago, and guess who did nothing about it? Once again, our glorious, glamorous, all-powerful federal government. They even allow Chinese Communist Party corporations and companies owned by the CCP to be on military bases. I think I would like to see Pete Hegseth kick them the fuck off. But who knows, folks? We're at this part of the game where I don't know who's our ally and who's our enemy. Because the enemies, well, I know who the enemies are. They're proclaiming they're enemies. But then we've got people who are enemies who are lying to us and saying they're our friends. Learn the difference, folks. and be prepared for the absolute worst. If you think people in your life, in business, family, lie to you and fuck you over, because they do, wait till you see what the government does when there is no personal connection and it's all just business. Their kind of business where they enrich themselves, empower themselves, and you and I lose. I'm not fucking happy with them, folks, obviously. And I know you guys aren't either. Be patient. I'm trying. And I'm going to keep fucking yelling at Pam and Cash and Dan on the internet. Call this phone number, the Capitol switchboard. Write your senator. Write your congressman. Freeze or pause the video and write those addresses down and let them know every day you need to become the activist and threaten them with not voting for them, with having them primaried, vote for someone else in the primary. You won't be a good Republican, we'll find a good Republican. You won't have your fucking lifelong money bank, piggy bank of fucking us over. Call them, write them, text them, email them. Become an activist and protect yourself before it's too late. Chance favors the prepared mind. Yes, it does. Are you prepared?